Okay. Any particular requests?
Nope.
Let's start moving. If anything comes up, let me know. Slide forward in the chair and let's do things that get us moving and connecting with our bodies, rolling around, breathing, get those shoulders reaching around. Last bits of peanut butter out of a jar, but without straining, going the other way around, rolling around, breathing. Nice and soft. And then elbows on the knees. Nice, soft, heavy thigh bones, maybe the sit bones too. Settling into the earth, which helps into the chair rather, which allows your spine to relax, not holding you up anymore. It's supported. And let's then twist a little bit. Drop one shoulder and then the other shoulder and let your head follow. And breathing. A couple more times like that. Just feeling the weight of your legs shifting so that you're not rigid. The pressure, the movement goes through the body, even down into the feet. One more time to each side. And then very gently, because we're just getting going here. Heavy legs, relaxed back, your back. Let it soften maybe a millimeter behind where it is. We just so unconsciously go into sway back. And then just very gently, maybe 50% effort, pull with your elbows to gently reach the top of that forward inhale. And exhale, release. And inhale, pulling back to reach forward. Exhale, release back. And a few more times like that. Just feeling your legs heavy, soft, your spine soft, and feel like you're just very gently allowing it to open up. One or two more times, breathing. And then again, dropping one shoulder and then the other shoulder, letting your head flow. Don't forget to breathe.
No.
And coming up.
Hey, how are you?
Hi there, Grace.
Hi.
Then come on up to sitting and let's go through the different movements of the spine. Right hand on the left knee, left hand behind you, and pull gently to open your heart around. And inhale forward. Exhale, twist, and let the legs again join in. So you can even imagine it goes all the way from the feet up through your neck. Inhale forward. Exhale, gently twisting around, pulling with your hand, opening your heart around. And go at your own pace a few times, just feeling your own rhythm, your own way, finding your own softness. One more time to each side. Good morning, Susan.
Morning.
And then come on into center. And let's slide all the way back in the chair. Hold on and slide down. You can hold on to the chair leg if it has a leg and go on. And inhale, you can come up to center and exhale to the other side. And like that, imagine that you're reaching around a pipe or a barrel of some kind. So you're lengthening, but you're not crunching down, going around. One more time to each side. And come on into center. And let's do twisting. Well, let's do forward and back first. Hold on to the knees and pull with your hands to roll your shoulder blades down and let your heart rise up. Inhale and exhale. Roll back on your tail a little bit. Reach every vertebrae. Your back gently back towards the back of the chair. Drop the chin. Inhale, opening up towards the sky a little bit. You're arching a little forward, but you're not getting that lumbar to push forward. And back and forth like that at your own pace, reaching back, and opening up, soft lower back, even though it's moving a little forward. And exhale, rolling back on your tail. And a couple more at your own rhythm. Feel your own back, feel your own movement. And then come on into center. And let's bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand around behind your waist. And gently pull to open your heart around, let the neck follow, not lead. And inhale, come forward, switching the hands and twisting around, reaching the shoulder around, and at your own pace again, just listening to your own body, feeling your leg bones shifting, sit bones shifting their weight a little bit, and let that happen. Really, we want to sort of let the energy go all the way down through to the feet, subtly, of course. A couple more times at your own pace. And then coming on into center and coming back to a little rolling around of your shoulders, getting the last bits of peanut butter, breathing, and go the other way around, rolling that around nice and soft. Last bits of peanut butter out of that jar. At some point, let's come on up to center and let's take it into a twist where we stay there for a little while, swinging your legs off to one side, holding on to your chair back. Nice heavy leg bones and sit bones, light heart rising up without having your lower back help. Let that release back. So you're releasing down to the chair, up through the top of your skull, and then pull with your hands to open you around and breathe. Let the breath be your helper. So think of going about 70 to 80% with the twist just holding, and then let the breath do any work of releasing you any further. Don't try to push to 100% or 110%. Let the breath be able to open you around. Another couple breaths. Neck follows. And let's do the other side. And holding on to the back of the back of the chair rather, drop your shoulders, light heart. Oh, hi, Louise. Twisting around, breathing. Nice, soft, heavy leg bones. Heart opens around. And you're not trying to sit up straight by arching your back. You're softening that back, and then you're dropping into the chair with your legs and opening up towards the sky with your top of your head, and just breathe a couple more breaths and see if the breath carries you a few millimeters more. And at some point, come on into center. Forward, and let's do a few more circles around and take all that freedom into our spines. Breathing, getting the last little bits of peanut butter out of that jar. Nice and soft, supple, free. Go the other way around, rolling that around, nice and free breathing. One more time around. And then slide all the way back in the chair. And let's place the left hand on the side of the chair. And let it support your weight. So you're just leaning into that. So your back's relaxed, your legs relaxed. Hand on the chest. And inhale, you want to reach up over that chair back, but lengthening from the back of the heart rather than pushing back. And you exhale, you reach your collarbone around and you keep the collarbone long and the heart in front open. And back and forth like that. It's more about lengthening both directions rather than trying to push back, push forward. We want the shoulder joint actually to be following rather than leading. One more time. In and out. Can you hear a creaking noise? Oh, good. It's my chair, not my joints. I was just going to let you know in case you hear a creak sound. I didn't oil my joints this morning, but hand on the chest and reach long. Inhale over the chair back and exhale, collarbone reaching around in front. And inhale, lengthening out. And exhale, rounded front, keeping the front of the heart open and the back of the heart open as you go. And let your neck not lead. Let the neck just follow. A couple more times at your own rhythm, listening to your own body inside. One more time. In and out. And into center and shoulders, release. I was taught that inevitably when we have hunches in our back, there's a twist in it. And if there's a twist, there's a hunch. And so that you want to unwind both ways, which I've found to be feel good anyway. You want to melt it open, you can't push it open. Then let's slide all the way back in the chair. Lace your fingers behind your head. Your elbows are forward. Soft, heavy legs, soft feet on the earth, soft lower back. And then keep that lower back soft as you reach the hands up and back, head up and back in the hands. Inhale and exhale, soften to neutral. And at your own pace, listen to your own body gently. Legs are heavy, and think not of pushing back, but lengthening long and over. 80% effort, not 110%. At some point, let's stay up in the back position, gently extending your head up into your hands. So it's lengthening is reaching, allowing you to reach over, breathing, and then do little twisting motions of your upper back with your arms, your head follows. And just imagine you're melting that spine in two directions. One is you're unhunching it, and the other is you're untwisting it. You get stuck. Melting it, softening it, opening it, breathing, a couple more breaths. And then just kind of relax over the chair back. Again, a little feeling of lengthening rather than dropping just back, just very subtly. Feet soft to Mother Earth, lower back relaxing into the chair a little. And let your breath gently open you from inside. You can even focus your breath maybe on your upper back. You'll feel inhales expanding, everything and exhales releasing, helping that from inside, releasing. One or two more breaths. And at some point, come on up to center. Let's slide forward in the chair and let's do that rolling around to make sure nothing's stuck, counterposing, so to speak, here. Rolling that around, breathing, going the other way around, rolling that around. And then into center. Hands on each side of both hands on top of your knee, soft. Actually, before we do that, let's deepen the hip sockets. So hands right into the crease, the edge of your hand, thumb out to the forefinger, deep into the crease, and walk your sit bones back. You just deepen, deepen, deepen the hip sockets. And breathe. You can walk your sit bones back. If you imagine that your armpits are a little deeper, that will could give you a little more effort. As soon as we start to push down on the armpits, the whole thing gets a little bit stuck and jammed. Breathing, a couple more breaths. Those arches that we have all over our body have a play. And then at some point, elbows on the knees. And just taking a few breaths, soft, heavy leg bones, soft spine, letting it not feel rigid, let it be a little bit soft, have a little arch in it. And then a little twisting from side to side, breathing. Feel the weight shifting on the legs. Feel the depth of the hip sockets. And then come on up. Let's have the hands on each side of the knee. Let the hands take the weight. Soft, heavy leg bones. Your hip socket is deep. And you dive down, forward and up. Inhale. And exhale, diving down and forward and up. And at your own pace, like that. Deep hip socket. And then let's do the other side. Both hands on the knee. Nice heavy thigh bone. Relaxed deep hip socket. And diving through a wave. Inhale up. Exhale down and forward, letting your arms do the work. Let your spine relax. And one more. And then let's gently bring the elbows on the knees again. Nice, soft, deep hip sockets and soft, heavy leg bones. And again, pulling with your elbows to reach the top of the head forward a little bit. Inhale and exhale, release. And go at your own pace and try not to feel like your lower back is getting pulled on. Releasing it a little bit more back, a millimeter or two, can make a big difference. Imagining reaching your tail down into the chair can help to release it a little bit. A couple more times at your own rhythm, softening, opening like a gentle accordion. And then into center. And you can stay here and breathe into your back, which is a great thing to do. In fact, let's all do that for a few moments here. Wake up your breath into the back, coccyx, the whole spine, opening up a little bit. Exhale, releasing. You definitely have room for the spine to get longer and more open, more free. At some point, you can stay here, drop the skull and relax and just let your back breathe and open. Or if you want to, you could drop down between the legs and you can support your weight with your hands on your ankles or your shins or your feet or on the ground. Or if you don't need to, you just hang down, but make sure if there's any discomfort, support it. And then breathe to open the back. And if you have a sore spot, maybe expand that area a little more. Inhale, expanding, exhale, relaxing. And do make sure to just support it at least a little bit if there's strain. Back of the skull drops down, blood flow to the brain. Another few breaths. At some point, one hand or both hands on the knees, lifting you on up. And let's do a counter pose, swinging the legs over to the one side, holding on to the chair back. Nice, soft, heavy leg bones, light heart, heavy shoulders, light neck. Pull with your hands to open your heart around. Let the leg bones join in, the sit bones join in. Maybe all the way from the feet, you feel a little bit of change. And breathe. Don't lead with the neck. Open around with the heart. Let the neck follow. And again, let your breath gently open the pose up. You can breathe more fully without getting dizzy. Nice smooth movement. Or you can just relax the breath and allow your body to open around. At some point, let's do the opposite side. Swinging your legs over to the other side. Holding on to the chair back. Nice, soft, heavy leg bones, light heart, heavy shoulders, light neck. Pull with your hands to open your heart around. And breathing. Letting your legs soften to join the twist. Let your neck follow. And then again, see if your breath can be a helper. Watch out for that lower back tending to arch forward to try and have you sit up straight. Instead, drop the tail down and let the top of the skull rise up. And breathe. Few more breaths. Don't lead with your neck. And then come on up to center. Let's slide forward in the chair. And do a little back and forth again with the twist. Right hand on the left knee. Left hand around behind you. Heavy leg bones, light top of the skull. Inhale and exhale gently, open around, letting the leg bones join in. And inhale, coming forward, switching hands, and exhaling, twisting. And at your own pace, just follow your own rhythm, listen to your own body, try to feel all that movement, your legs shifting, your spine, your neck following, your heart opening up. Just a couple more times to each side, breathing. 50 to 80% effort probably. No need to push to that 110%. And at some point, come into center and slide back. And let's give ourselves a hug as though you're reaching around a tree and it's long, and then you can maybe get your hands on the shoulder blade area, reaching around and pull one shoulder blade and pull the other shoulder blade. And you're trying to keep your collarbones a little open feeling, breathing. One more time to each side and into center and inhale up and exhale down. And at your own rhythm, a couple more times and reach it from your heart, not the shoulder joints, and let the feel, you can maybe feel the shoulder blades rolling up and down a little bit. And at some point, let's do the other side, reaching around, opposite arm up front, breathing a few times, you're reaching around a tree and then pulling one shoulder blade and then the other shoulder blade, just gently allowing your back to broaden out. We pinch our shoulder blades together and jam up, breathing, and then into center and a little bit up and down. Inhale up, exhale down from your heart. If it strains your shoulder joints, just go short of that. Maybe one more time. And relax that. Let the shoulders release, breathing. And let's slide forward on a chair and do some swimming all the way from your leg bones, shifting their weight. And then reaching under with your thumb and reach from the collarbone, breathing all the way from the heart. It all goes through the shoulder, out through the fingers without straining the shoulder. At some point, let's turn the hands up and rotate the other way, breathing all the way from the shoulder blade, if you can feel it. Reach from there, the back of the heart, reaching long, breathing. Your arms don't edit your shoulder joints, and that gets us into trouble if we think that is. One more time, each side. Bounce those shoulders a little bit, nice and relaxed. And one more thing here. Slide forward on the chair, just hold on to the back of the chair and being a little cautious here. This can strain the shoulder joints. You can lean forward, let your lower back not arch forward hard. You can arch it a little bit, but don't lock it. And then just allow the top of your head to extend forward and see if it's okay for your shoulder blades to release down. You can bring your shoulder joints a little forward if it strains at all. And just breathe as your heart rises up. Couple more breaths. And being cautious, let's gently sway a little bit from side to side. This can be an awkward movement for the shoulder joint, so just soft. And then release that. Bounce the shoulders nice and full. Shake it out. Hands. And let's move on into the feet and the legs. Heels on the ground. Imagine a pen or a pencil underneath your toes that you're reaching around with your toes. You're holding on. On the inhale, you reach the toes up and back to make a large circle around with the toes. Imagine that. Inhale. And exhale, curling around and reaching up again as though you're reaching up around something round. Just the toes at this point. Your feet can move a little bit. Don't keep them rigid. At some point, let's let the feet join and let your arches reach around a pipe with your toes and inhale. Reach up and reach the whole back of the foot and the toes up and around. Big pipe. Inhale. Exhale. Reaching around and go at your own pace. A few more times, listening to your own body. One more time. And then let's add the ankles in and reach long around the pipe on the ground there. And deepen your ankle to reach up and around a pipe on the top of your ankles. Inhale and exhale, reaching around toes, ankles, sole of the foot, and up and around the whole foot, reaching the ankle deep. Back and forth a couple more times like that. Breathing, you could inhale one way, exhale the other way. And then at some point, let's think about left and right side of the brain. And we're going to try curling one foot over the arch and everything over, and the other one reaching up over the pipe back. And then going the other way, we're going to reach around with the arch and the toes. And the other one opens up back. And try that. You can inhale one way and exhale the other way, or breathe any way that's comfortable, but make a nice smooth movement. Just a nice opening, flowing feeling. The rhythmic breath can help to make that rhythm so we don't sort of jerk around and get stuck. One more time to each side. And then a nice big circling around of your toes, drawing circles in the air. Breathing, your ankles move around nice and soft. Going the other way around, rolling that around. Breathing comfortably. And then bounce your feet on the ground, waking up the nerves, getting more circulation through there, waking them up. And then let's cross the left ankle over the right knee, and you can hold on to the toes, or you could lace your fingers between your toes. And a nice big circling around slowly, a full circle, but not one that strains you. Imagine you're creating space inside of that ankle, breathing. Going the other way around, rolling that around, space opening up. And then let's do the other side, crossing the ankle over. You can hold onto the toes or lace your fingers between the toes. A nice big circle around, breathing. Think of opening the joint up, not trying to wrench it around. Softens, creating space. Going the other way around, breathing, flowing around, nice and soft, melting. And then let go of those toes, bounce the feet again. And let's work on into the knee. Let's grab a towel or a rolled up cloth, firm cushion, not too big. And placing that under one leg. We could all do the right leg if you want, but either leg's fine. So let your sit bones soften into the ground. That's a key. If the hip sit bone starts to lift when we do this, our backs get strained. So you want to keep that sit bone dropping down, and then you push the top of the thigh bone out of the hip socket, and then forward you reach your foot. Inhale long, and exhale, draw the heel in towards the chair bottom. Inhale, extending down into the chair, long out, and coming in. And inhale, trying to reach that leg out of the hip socket, down and long. And breathe at your own pace. You can inhale out long or exhale in, or breathe any way that's natural for you, as long as you keep the flow of breath. One more time. And let's try staying there, down and long. We're not trying to lift up, you're trying to lengthen out. Breathe. You can rotate your leg in and out a little bit. Nice and soft movement. And then circle a little bit, maybe with your toes. Go the other way around. And let that foot come down. And let's swing the legs a little bit to just relax the knees, the muscles been moving. Push out on your leg muscles, breathing. And then let's place the chair on the t-shirt under the thigh, about 3 or 4 inches in front of the sit bone. So you're under the thigh bone, and press that thigh bone down as though you're reaching the Diaphragm out of the hip socket and reach long through the whole sole of the foot, lengthening out of the hip socket that way. Inhale and exhale. Draw the heel in and back and forth at your own rhythm like that. Get that feeling of making that, allowing that hip socket to open up. Give it a little more space. At some point, you can stay extended. Don't lock up. Think of reaching down again and long again and breathe. The whole sole of the foot reaching long. The knee is not locking, it's extending. Just another couple of breaths, down and long. And at some point, release that. And let's take the roll out and push out on your leg muscles a little bit. Let them stay long. We're unjamming the hips. We're not jamming them up. And then swing your feet a little bit back and forth, breathing. Nice and loose for the knees. And extending again, pushing out. Breathing. And come on up to standing. And remember that you are a large spring and bounce like a spring. Your heels might even bounce up and down a little bit. Think of the front of the heels taking most of the weight. Shake your shoulders down, let your heart, and as everything releases down, we tend to climb up with tension, and then we need to release, and then we tighten inside. We want to relax our body down on the outside and let the inside be light. And then let's swing the tail from side to side, breathing. Letting your neck relax into that just naturally. Think of the tip of your tail swinging back and forth, breathing. And then swing your tail around in a circle. Nice soft knees, nice soft feet. Rolling the other way around a few times, breathing, get those hip sockets opening up, lubricating. And then into center and bring your feet closer and bring your heels out away from each other so that we're opening up the muscles in the back of the hips. Bounce your knees in towards your toes, your heels, don't lose the middle of your heels, and then swing from side to side, breathing, and just feel that it releases through your hips a little bit, changes the whole dynamic of the muscles. And try circling, being careful of your knees. Breathe, you want to keep them relaxed in. And going the other way around, melting, softening, breathing. And then to center, and let's bring the legs wide as is comfortable for you. Don't go to where you're straining, go to where it's just comfortable. Bounce, shake your shoulders down, let the heart come up, let those shoulders relax, let the pelvis open up a little bit, relaxing. There's muscles that come in from the spine to the inside of the pelvis to the legs. And just feel like the space opening up, breathing. And then let's bring the hands right into the crease of the hip socket there, which is not the bones. It's below that, the crease, and you push in more than you bend over. Breathing, knees a little soft. A couple more times. Upper body should just be relaxed. The key is to just allow that hip to go deep. One more time to each side, breathing. And then swinging that tail around, nice and soft, rolling that. And going the other way around, rolling that around, nice and soft. Imagine your hip sockets getting nice and soft and free, lubricated. And then let's bring the hands right up to the, deep up into the hip sockets. Just a little to the inside of the thigh bone. So you're going deep as you can where the hinge is, where that hip joint is. And bounce your knees just very subtly to help relax the knees. When you lock the knees, the hips tend to lock up. And let the leg bones relax internally, relax out. Watch out for that tendency, subconscious tendency to arch the lower back. So maybe reach your tail down towards the chair, down towards the ground a little bit. Breathing, settling a little deeper down if it's comfortable. Knees are springy and soft. Middle of the heels connecting to earth. At some point, let's bring the elbows on the knees and let them be the knees be as soft as you want it. They can bend as much as you want. Even when they're bent, they can lock up. So make sure they're springy and that your back is comfortable. Your hip sockets are deep, and we're rotating around that, breathing. And then you can relax all the way down, hanging down like a swing from a tree branch. And don't lose your front, the middle of your heels, front of your heels, breathing. And then at some point, using your hands to safely, slowly come on up. Blood flow changes direction. Let your arms reach up, drop your shoulders, and extending the foot into the earth and the opposite arm away and unwind out through that. Inhale. But just breathe naturally as you go back and forth and you extend and unwind together here. Back and forth. You reach the foot into the earth as you reach the opposite arm long. One more time to each side. And then knees together or legs fairly together, and your whole body is a swing. Let your arms relax, soften, breathe. And then bring the hands on top of the legs way up, with the legs closer now. Technically, the legs should be just below your hip sockets, hip joint. You have to be careful because if you have wide hips, you might think that your feet should be wider than they are. So it's really 6 to 7 inches. Bounce, soften, and then deepen those hip sockets again. Look to the inside of the thigh bone. Knees soft from the back. Feel like the hollow is deeper. It's key to have the front of the heel, middle of the heel connecting to earth. Lengthening deep in the hip sockets and forward through the top of the skull. Knees can be soft and bouncy as you want to have them. Don't try to lock them. And at some point, let's bring the elbows on the knees, keeping that depth of the hip socket. The deeper you can feel the hip sockets, the deeper you should probably feel the opening behind the knee. Just breathe, opening up, releasing. And at some point, hang all the way down if you want to. And you can very subtly bounce a little bit. Don't try to keep your legs locked. Let them bend where your back is safe. And that's different for everybody. And feel a little springiness in the knees. And pull deep. And if you can imagine the pocket behind each knee being deep, that helps relax open. Just another couple breaths here, releasing back of the skull. And then using the hands probably, pour your weight gradually into your feet, especially that front of the heel, middle of the heel, and coming on up. And your arms open up towards the sky, your shoulders release. And from those soft heels, just swing like seaweed in water, everything flowing, opening up to all that work. And let's swing back and forth a little bit, down and up rather. And then let's swing from side to side, just letting go, let your lungs be open, let your spine, your hips move, breathing. And then come into center, and just for a little balance work, let's bring the left foot forward, the right foot back, and feel the heels connecting to the earth, which will help your heart to rise up. If you're too far back on your heels, You're going to collapse back. If you're too far into the toes, you're going to jam up. So just over that middle, and then put your full weight on the front foot. You're just using the back toe to keep you balanced, and then going the other direction. So the opposite foot that you're moving from is just a little balance help. And breathe, don't forget to breathe. If you look at something and gaze, it helps. You can try pausing on one leg, stopping, and just feel the springiness and allowing yourself to just not be rigid. Breathe and then come on to the front leg. And again, bounce a little bit to just feel that knee soft. Let it take the weight. Your back foot just helps to balance a little bit. Breathing. Remember your heel. And then a little forward and back. Breathing comfortably. Little extra force of gravity on the big toe side of the foot, that inner arch. And then let's do the other side. Opposite leg forward. Make sure your knees are bouncy and springy. Your tail is heavy. Your heart is light. Your shoulders are dropped. Your neck is free. And then forward and back, breathing. Think mostly of that heel connection. The rest of it's important too, but that heel is, I believe, the center of gravity, center of balance we move from. Breathing. And at some point, let's go slowly a couple of times. Breathing. Feel the heels, front of the heels, middle of the heels, and the other way, breathing. And come into center. A couple of nice loose swings, back and forth. And then let's do warrior one. Bring your left foot out to the side. You turn the foot straight out. Your feet are comfortably wide. You push the back heel back a little bit so the toes are turned in a little bit. And again, remember the front of the heels. Bounce the front knee a little bit. Well, let's call it the left knee. So because we're looking forward as our legs open out to the sides. And then we're going to open our arms out to each side, breathing. Drop the shoulders, reach out through the fingertips. Feel your weight open into the heels. And you can turn your head and look over your left hand if you want to. Breathing and just finding balance. And at some point, a couple of swings, release any strain. Then your right foot turned out, your left heel turned back a little bit, and you're facing forward from that, but you don't want that right knee to roll in. You want it to stay aiming towards your foot. And so bend that right knee and then extend long out. Inhale. So you're opening to the ground with your feet, and then you're lengthening and opening up through the heart. It's like a plant blossoming in a way. Take a few breaths into earth, opening out. Couple more breaths, lengthening, looking over your right arm if you want to. Forgot that. Couple more breaths. And release that. Nice big swing, back and forth, just letting it all go. And then a down and up swing, back and forth, breathing. And knees soft, just bounce. So we want that feeling of springiness, bounce. We don't want to lock up anything. When you're springy, you have better balance too. And then let's grab those weights. And let your shoulders relax down as your heart rises up. And our tendency is to fight the weight, bring our shoulders up and collapse our chest. We want to release that. Shoulders heavy, chest naturally light, and swinging, breathing all the way from your feet. All of this work you can think of as balance work. How are your feet connecting to the earth? How's the whole body rotating or moving? breathing, and coming into center, up and down to each side a few times, connecting to those important feet. How are they doing on the earth? Breathing. And then some circles around from your heart, shoulder blades, collarbones, breathing. Don't have to do big movements. Try to feel that connection up through the shoulder blade, collarbones. Going the other way around, rolling that around, breathing. Keep those shoulders a little heavy, the heart a little light. And then bounce to shake your shoulders down, relax that, do a few swings, again, nice and loose. Soft breath, remember your feet. And then you drop your shoulders and let's gently reach out. Inhale long, exhale down. Try to keep those shoulders a little heavy if you can. Inhale, exhale, so they don't crunch up around your ears. We'll do one more breathing, soft feet, and then just stay there for a few breaths if you want to. Drop the shoulders, reach long from the heart, breathing. And at some point, release that. Nice big swinging, rolling that out. And then some bicep work, up and down. You want those shoulders to relax down. You want their heels to be soft into Mother Earth. Your knees a little soft. You can imagine a hollow, the back of the knees, relaxing deeper. Try alternating arms a few times, breathing. Nice smooth movement. I'm not trying to hurry. One more time to each side. And then come halfway up. And let's curl the wrists in and out. And try to keep those shoulders heavy. We tend to want to strain up and hold our shoulders up around our ears. Let them drop. Breathing. And then roll in and out a couple of times. And then turn the hands down and lift up and down with your wrists. Breathing. Nice soft front of the heels. And then returning to rolling, turning in and out. Breathing. Rolling. And let's take that into a large movement. Rolling out and in. Breathing. Nice and soft and open. From the collarbones, shoulder blades, and coming on into center, breathing and swim down, relax all that, open it up. Turn your hands up and roll in. Remember your breathing. And then a few loose swings, whole body all the way from your feet, especially those front of the heels, softening to earth, or the middle of the heel, however you want to think about it. And bounce to shake your shoulders down a few times, heart light. And let's bring the hands over, bring the weights on the ground, or put them away. And shake out your hands nice and loose. Stretch and squeeze your fingers gently, breathing. Wrists a little soft, opening up, circling. Think of opening up the wrist joints. Go the other way around at some point, breathing. And a couple of nice loose swings, back and forth. Lungs open, body released. Everything from the toes out to the top of the neck. And let's have a seat. And let's swing the legs off to one side. And hold on to the chair back. Nice, soft, heavy legs. Nice, light heart, heavy shoulders, light neck, soft back. And then pull with your hands to open your heart around. Let the legs join in and just breathe and see if your breath helps you to go a little deeper without straining. Don't push against obstacles. release them. At some point, the other side, think of unwinding, opening up, creating spaciousness to allow all that work to come in, and just twist around. Your leg bones can join in gently. Breathe, let your head follow, and try not to arch that lower back forward. Drop down into the chair with your legs, and then just let your top of your head gently reach up. A few more breaths. Maybe the breath helps you to release a little more, a few millimeters more. And at some point, come on into center and let's get comfortable for a final relaxation here. Lie down, sit in the chair, whatever's comfortable for you. And just let's rest and soak in all that work, that ancient rhythm of work, rest, activity, rest, to optimize our health and our flexibility and strength. And let's relax tensions. Our faces can hold tensions. Try moving your jaw around a little bit, raise it from inside, up inside the ears there. Let the jaw go slack a little bit and maybe scrunch. Imagine you're bringing your chin and your forehead up towards the toe, towards the tip of the nose. Inhale and exhale, relax that. Inhale, reaching the forehead and the chin up towards the nose. Inhale, exhale, release. And then just move your jaw around, loosen it up. And let your face let go of expressions. Let your eyes melt a little bit, soften. You can even imagine the brain relaxing. Maybe there's two images that people might like. One is that the brain, it's by tension, is being pushed in, contracted, and you just release it, let it get a little larger. Or through pressure, we're pushing the brain up against the skull, and it can just relax and drop in away from the skull. Thoughts can come, thoughts can go. And trust your body's wisdom to soak in what you need and to release what you don't need. Jaw slack from inside the ears. Trust your body's wisdom. Relax into that. And then very gently, treating our bodies kindly, treating our bodies kindly. Breathe a little deeper, starting to think about movement. Drink in the breath. Remember to think of breathing through the back, maybe the floor of the pelvis. There's a pelvic floor diaphragm that works with the breath. And stretching fingers and toes are good places to work, and just waking things up. Open out, feel everything and reaching, extending, enjoyable. And at some point, if you're lying down, you might want to make your way on up to sitting gently. And take a few moments here to just connect to our own deeper selves, our internal centers. Just being with that. Then let's gently bring the hands together in front of the heart. Just the right contact. Your elbows are heavy, so your shoulders release. Legs are heavy, so the spine is relaxed. And connecting to however we experience our greater being, our deeper self, inner wisdom, whatever you feel it. And with a sense of cultivating friendliness and respect for our bodies and our breaths and our work with them, with sensitivity, enjoyment, and wisdom. Namaste.
Namaste.
Take care, everybody.
You too, John.
Thank
you.
Ageless Yoga will be here on Thursday, same time, same place. Maybe a different place. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.